Hello, Tim Gavel here from the Region Media Group down here at the National Tennis Centre at Lineman. Alongside me is the champion ACT tennis player Alison Bai. Alison no longer on the circuit but playing a very important role in encouraging young women to play tennis. Tell us about your new role, Alison. What does it encompass?
Yeah, I currently here at the Tennis ACT as the Women and Girls lead, and my role is to increase opportunities for women and girls to lead and play the sport. We were very lucky to have a federal government grant from the Australian Sports Commission back in 2019, and we've been doing some great work here, not just here in the ACT but also nationally in trying to increase those women's participation.
Because I guess that is a real driver, isn't it, to get young women in particular involved in tennis?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, across all balls, we know that there's a low participation rate compared to men within the women's space, and they just need that extra little bit of encouragement, a little bit more confidence to get involved, and in all aspects of tennis, not just being on court.
Because you are a role model to a lot of people here in Canberra through the tennis community, do you feel as though you're able to influence?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, being on tour for 15 years, I've been very lucky to be supported by a really loving community here in the ACT, and it's given me the opportunity to give back to the people that supported me throughout my career and to inspire and to be a good role model for the next generation coming through.
Why do you think it is that young women aren't playing tennis?
It's a tough sport. You need a lot of skill, you need a lot of athletic ability, but also you're playing by yourself. I know a lot of women, there's research showing that the social element is a big impact for women and girls to get involved in the sport. And that's what we've been trying to do, is create a more social aspect, a bit more friendlier environment so that women don't feel so much exposed to their abilities, but more so enjoying being out and active.
So what about yourself? Obviously not playing on the circuit anymore. Is tennis still enjoyable for you?
Yeah, absolutely. We recently launched our Women's Tennis League, and sometimes I go out there and have a bit of a hit, even though some of the women feel a little bit intimidated, but it's good to just get involved and really go back to the roots of why I even started playing the sport and being active, taking care of yourself and being healthy.
Because you started at a very young age, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Started my tennis journey when I was 6 years old at the Belconnen Tennis Club, and from there I got recognised, talent ID'd when I was 11, and it just kind of went from there.
Tell us about life on the circuit, because as you say, 15 years on the circuit. I remember covering a lot of your matches over the years, and it was tough at times for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously a lot of ups and downs, and you've got a lot of lonely times on the circuit, being by yourself and not necessarily always being on the top tours as you see on TV at Wimbledon or Australian Open, but you're playing down at the second level tiers. We don't really have that many people coming and watching, and it gets a little bit isolating at times, but you do it for the love of the sport, and you do it just to be the best version of yourself.
You had some challenging times as well through injuries too, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was quite lucky I didn't have any major injuries, but a few stress fractures, a few niggles here and there, and obviously as you get older, your body doesn't bounce back as well as it used to.
Yeah. Well, what do you like about tennis? What makes it so special for you, and what is the message that you tell young women in particular? What makes it so good?
I've always been competitive, so the competitive nature is always there, but tennis is such a highly complex skill when you really break it down, and it's that sense of achievement when you've been able to move around, get into position and be able to contact the ball so cleanly and it goes in the right spot, and if you hit a winner it's even a bonus. So I think it's that daily satisfaction of being able to achieve something that's really highly skilled.
Is it hard to teach older women how to play tennis?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, if they're there to enjoy it and to learn and to be part of the sport, I think they're generally more easier to teach because they're there to learn. And as long as they understand that, you don't have to be an amazing tennis player, as long as you can get the ball over the net in the rectangle, you're doing pretty well. What
about tennis in the ACT? It seems to be really thriving. A lot of people playing tennis and playing especially in the juniors, in big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good crop of juniors coming through, and our participation levels are growing, particularly after COVID. But from the women and girls lens and perspective, I'd like to see that a little bit more in terms of the girls' participation. We always know that there's about 25% of girls playing compared to boys, so we'd like to push that to 50-50.
And you're out in the schools, is that how you do it?
Yeah, schools, clubs, we run a lot of events, we run a lot of social tennis, a lot of specific programs to get girls together. Hopefully then they can bring their friends and they can get encouraged and be inspired to keep going.
I'm sure they get a real thrill when they see you coming to school, Alison. But thanks very much for joining us on Region Media today, and well done on what you're doing.
Thanks very much.
That's Alison Bai down here at the Tennis Centre at Lyneham.